Donkeys and Dragons video chat, where we spend about 15 minutes chatting about a specific topic. Today's topic is testing and AI, and our guest is Brittany Stewart. Brittany is one of Agile Testing Days' 100 women in tech to follow, and for really good reason. She's passionate about bridging the gap between technical excellence and human experience in software testing. Through her writing and speaking, she breaks complex testing concepts into, well, simpler bites to understand. She also shares her real-world UX experiences and everything she learns as she explores the latest AI testing tools. So, I'm Janet Gregory.
And I'm Lisa Crispin. Brittany,
And
it's so great to have you here. And I've been following your blog posts for a while now, and it's clear that, like ourselves, you take a holistic approach to testing and quality. And given your recent experiences using GenAI and LLM tools to help with testing activities, I'm curious where you have seen AI fitting into testing activities throughout that whole software development lifecycle and all the different stages.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. Wonderful introduction. Thanks, guys. So for me, I'm seeing AI and testing fit everywhere. And to be honest, the pace at which this is happening is mind-boggling. Because I feel like every week there's a different thing. But to kind of break it down, it's the entire cycle from test design to execution to actually delivery and reporting. AI is embedding itself in all of that. And what you guys see me do on my blog is just me documenting my experiences with it. I haven't shared anything like in my blogs recently, but guys, it's just mind blowing how it's happening. What I can say is the teams that I'm working with right now, I think they're seeing the most value in the beginning of the process. I think it's easier to adopt it when it comes to the test design part. It's maybe less risk involved with using AI to generate test cases and brainstorm test scenarios. So I'm finding that people are getting more comfortable with that. And that's exactly how I started too. But as I am going in the process now and getting more into the weeds of the AI tools and testing with it, I see that there's a lot to gain from it in the execution part of testing. And I don't really want to mention tools per se, but it's just the whole idea of us stepping out of our usual role of focusing on the test cases and test design, but actually allowing us to focus on what, and I tweeted about, I wrote, not tweeted, I wrote about it on LinkedIn the other day saying intent-based testing, we get to focus on the end user and their perspective a bit more because it's taking away the tedious task of having to focus on writing all these test cases. I love that. I think that's going to be revolutionary for us in this space, and it allows us to add more value to our teams that way. So yeah, that's how I see it. Even in the reporting part for myself, I tend to use the Claude or ChatGPT. And by the way, I use them all. I try using all the LLMs and kind of check the outputs to see which ones I like the most. And so far, I've settled with Claude right now because it allows me to organize my projects. I know the others can too, but I like the outputs that I get from that. But down to the reporting, I'm able to use AI to help me to create these wonderful reports in dashboards. I'm a visual thinker and a visual communicator, so I really value being able to create those things quickly. And I think my team does too. Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. So I'm skeptic,
Yeah.
right? Because I've seen it used so, I don't want to say wrong, but people accepting things as it's put up without double checking. So I'm glad to hear that you're using it in that sense, always double checking against each other and things. So it's clear to me that today's testers and quality engineers need to take advantage of AI and where it can help. But also for people like me, always looking for the potential pitfalls, right? So do you have any recommendations for someone in a testing role who really wants to get started? I know you mentioned at the beginning trying to generate, but do you have any other recommendations for GenAI, LLM tools?
Yeah, I think my approach, and this is what I would tell anybody, is start small. My blog post, the first one I did was literally me taking one user story, running it through the LM, the full testing process to get some baseline metrics for myself and actually see it in action. So I think this is general. Everybody says start small, but it's true. You don't want to go too big and then you get lost or you miss things because there is the risk, as you said, Janet, with AI doing foolishness, and we don't want that. We want to maintain quality. So start small. I would say always validate the outputs. You can't blindly trust the outputs. Even yesterday, I was using it to do mathematical calculations, and you would think that it would be 100% accurate. It wasn't.
Wasn't.
Yeah, if I didn't look, I wouldn't see it. So
Yeah.
test it out, start small, validate the outcomes with your testing expertise. So don't you can't leave your knowledge and the experience that you have in the background. I think it's more important now that we have the AI tools. So yeah, that's what you should do. And if you're like me, who I've become like an advocate for AI, but I try it outside of work too. Just try it in your daily tasks, try it on the weekend. Just try. We have to start trying because I do believe this is the future. And I'm afraid that if people don't get on this train now, they're gonna be left behind. Honestly, that's where it's trending to. But don't be scared, just have an open mind. Try, validate, and adjust your strategy based on that. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I was reading an article yesterday about AI being used for medical things, and the author kept saying, or the people being interviewed said, yes, validate, because sometimes it hallucinates.
Yes.
It makes up things. It made up medical reports that don't exist, things like that. And so that validation becomes really, really important. So I like that you bring that up.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. In my limited experience trying out these different LLMs and Gen AI tools, is that they're not a replacement for learning the skills. They might help you learn the skills. Like if you're trying to learn to code, maybe you can see what it generates and then pair with
Yeah.
somebody to see if that was good code. But you have to have your skills and experience first, and then you can really take advantage of these tools.
Yeah.
It's good to hear that's your experience too. Now I know you focus a lot on user experience testing, and there's something on you have on your website that I really love. That's quality isn't just about finding bugs; it's about enhancing the human experience in everything we build.
Yeah.
That really sums it up.
Yeah.
And I was wondering if you have any particular techniques for learning what customers need. A lot of teams are kind of removed from maybe from their end users. So, how can you learn whether a new feature that your team's about to develop is going to meet their needs or is meeting their needs after you release it?
Yeah, so that's a good question. In my experience, and this is why I love what you guys do with holistic testing. I feel like I was doing that before it even became a thing. But I found so much value with collaborating with other persons on the team, not just in the QA departments. I meet with people in marketing. I talk to people in sales. I talk to people on customer support. And on my projects, I usually get the most value when I talk to those like people dealing with customers and hearing what their issues are. So I tend to like even look at the customer support tickets that come in. Where are they really having the issues? And I use that to inform my test strategy or where I focus my prioritize, right? Because you can't really test everything. But at least I can focus on meeting the needs or the pain points of what the customers have. And I get that from other persons on the team. they're using other tools to get their metrics and data. Like I talk about this with the shift right, using Hotjar and heat map analysis. But I just pair with them, hear what they have to say. It's really about, I think your heart has to be in the right place. And that's why I like QA. You're really trying to solve a problem for a person. If you focus on that and you listen to the end user, use that to inform how you're testing, I think that's the answer. Yeah.
Yeah, and it is. I know when I was a QA manager many years ago, I tried to get our testers, the developers too, they were much more resistant at the time, to go and sit with our customers, just sit with them, right? And it makes such a difference when you see how they're using it. But I recognize not everybody gets that opportunity to actually go be a customer. And the support tickets, I love that. One company I was with, as part of our orientation, every single person had to sit in customer service, listening to the phone calls for half a day. One of my recommendations when I left there was that they recycle that they do make people do that at least a minimum of once a year, probably twice, because you forget. And so I really like that.
Yeah.
And anyhow, to Bob, you're going to be at Agile Testing Days in November doing 2 talks, right? Can you give us a little preview of what the participants can expect to learn from you?
Sure. Okay, so 2 talks. Thank you for the encouragement to even do that. I'm so glad I got in. So what I'll be talking about is balancing, well, one is shift left and shift right, balancing QA in modern development, because development is moving so fast. They're ahead of us right now. How do QAs actually keep up? And I do believe, using the shift left and shift right approach help, as well as holistic testing. I don't know, I should have called it holistic. But yeah, I'm going to be sharing about how I've used both in my processes over the years, as well as sharing some resources that haven't been put out there yet, but just like a decision-making sheet that will help new and experienced engineers evaluate where they are in the scope of both of those. So you can expect me to talk about that, as well as AI in testing from skeptic to advocate. So that's my real journey of how I went from being very skeptical about using AI to actually being this person who is advocating for the use of AI. I share my real world journey, and it will be building on the blogs that I have, but in terms of, because I've been doing a lot more with AI testing this year. So you can expect some updated information on the tools and the techniques that I'm using for AI testing to help you get started.
That is awesome. I can't wait to hear those talks. And for people watching this, if you have a chance, register for Agile Testing Days. There is a virtual option, and you'd be able to see both of Brittany's talks and even ask questions during her talk and things like that. It's very interactive. And I have a 15% discount code for anybody who wants to register for Agile Testing Days. So do get in touch. Yeah, and it's so nice to hear you talk about, you didn't call it holistic, but you were doing what we're talking about doing. And we've had a lot of feedback like that where people say, thank you, this captures what we're doing, and it will help me explain it to other people. So, we're just going on our experience and other people's experience to what has worked.
Yes, it works.
And so I'm so excited to get to hang out with you in person at Agile Testing Days.
Me too. Looking forward to it.
Unfortunately, I won't be there again. Sigh. Oh well.
Well, you'll be on the virtual one, I hope. There's a little although the time zone doesn't work.
The time zone doesn't work very well.
You can watch the recordings.
Yeah, exactly. And let's wrap this up. Can you put our contact information up again, Lisa?
I will.
There we go. So please subscribe to this channel so you don't miss any of our exciting chats with people. We're so lucky to be able to talk with all these different people. But also our newsletter, which has new content every month. And don't forget to check out our blog posts. And we'd love to hear from you. So see you next month. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye bye. Thanks, Brittany.
Thanks for having me.